Emma's affection for Rover has likely transcended the dimensional barrier long ago. Looking back at her story, I realize there are still some rarely mentioned Easter eggs. Just the other day, while sorting through my father's old computer, I heard this familiar sound. Back in the day, everyone thought this was just the Windows startup jingle, but it's actually from somewhere else. When I was a kid, I bragged to my dad that this track was from Zwei. He smiled and flicked my nose. Now I realize this game is the original version of Star Twins, Aemeath's Journey, which is one of Emma's favorite games. The game's two protagonists share a bond of family, unbound by blood. They live as one, journey together, and stand united to protect the world. This tale is Emma's ideal of pure happiness. When the heroes end their day of combat, return home to save their journey and rest, a warm melody echoes again. Its name is Goodnight. In Emma's eyes, this greeting is a fleeting reprieve for the savior, a chance to lay down heavy responsibilities, find peace, and linger in the warmth of family. For endless sleepless nights, she yearned to whisper this goodnight to Rover. Years passed, and Rover returned at last. Only then did the mature young maiden see her long-held dream come true.
What?
There's a black cat in my memory.
Welcome to my annual Wuthering Waves feature. I'm Blurred. Emma's tale never fades with the erosion of time. In this retrospective tribute, I'll walk through intricate details to recount her extraordinary life. I've concealed the video's biggest Easter egg in its latter half. If you wish to skip the minor foreshadowing and details up front, feel free to jump straight to the marked timestamp. So our video begins. If a single good night turns Rover into a boat at anchor, then this sequence of Morse code is a shoulder he can lean on. As many have come to know, the message hidden here is Emma's vow: I will protect you. Yet the most heartfelt detail lies in this. She sent this very message ages ago through the Academy broadcast, though Rover remained completely unaware of it back then. Traces of this subtle narrative style linger in countless corners. Looking back at my 2024 videos, I noticed Kuro Robot in version 1.3 uttered a string of cryptic codes. I decode these codes in hexadecimal format. They unfold into a passage filled with profound implications. Past is future, and future is past. Is this not exactly the central theme running through Emma's story? By a coincidence, her two theme songs also adopt mirror imagery to interpret this ethereal atmosphere of time looping. With all these Easter eggs, I cannot help but wonder, did this electronic specter, trapped in endless solitude, call out your name time and again through various electronic devices? The radio that once let her converse with us across a divide has since been relocated beside the windowsill. If you mute the background music, you will find it still transmitting faint sounds from distant timelines. Looking back to years ago, when I watched Interstellar with my father, I found myself pondering those baffling happenings all around us. They may well be messages delivered to the protagonist by loved ones from beyond time and space. Now, whenever we set the in-game weather to meteor shower, we occasionally catch sight of golden stars drifting alongside pink ones. Could this peculiar sight be caused by that electronic specter hacking into the system? Furthermore, the electronic devices in Emma's room will emit faint, mysterious sounds, even when they are fully powered off. Could this be her voice from the past? I cannot say for certain, yet I choose to hold on to this possibility. For believing Emma's is still alive is the very premise that allows Rover to save her. It reminds me of how Chisa's mother never gave up hope when her daughter vanished in Honami City. To borrow a line from Interstellar,
I'm drawn across the universe to someone I haven't seen in a decade, who I know is probably dead. Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space.
love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends the dimensions of time and space. This line perfectly interprets the first layer of meaning behind the trophy: it cannot be seen without love. Yet love reaches further still. It crosses not only time and space, but also the dimensional barrier. Across the water from the cozy cottage, a Soliskin weeps as it faces the home of the two companions. Sit down beside it, and it will light up with joy. Just like the old days when you played games alongside Emma's. Notice its eyes? They share the same golden pink hue as Emma's. In a sense, this gentle creature carries all players' lingering thoughts of her. Much like the hexadecimal codes, the meteor shower anomalies, and the mysterious radio sounds, none of these clues have ever been officially proven. I once considered cutting out all these subtle hints and keeping only objective content in this video. But then I realized people spot and analyze these tiny details precisely because they hold Emma's dear. In that moment, I came to understand the second profound meaning of "it cannot be seen without love." Rochia once said, "To be forgotten is the true end of life." That being so, this electronic specter has never departed. Everything about her has simply fallen into a standstill, waiting for Rover to set her world in motion once more. You must still remember Emma's words about the ancient life sealed away in ice. To chase eternity by freezing time itself is a truly sorrowful fate. Once upon a time, the one trapped in this sorrowful fate was none other than Emma's herself. In a quiet corner of the Roya Frostlands, a passerby once described moss amber this way: "The moss encased within the amber resembles fallen petals, delicate and beautiful." Those fallen petals happen to be a melody from Emma's album, Forever Beautiful, yet forever frozen in time. Fortunately, the item's description hints at a glimmer of hope. When this frozen time shatters, the suspended life may finally begin anew. This line embodies a clash between finite possibilities and the boundless Aleph One. In mathematical terms, Aleph One stands for the very idea of infinity. From a literary perspective, it is an homage to El Aleph, the masterpiece by the celebrated novelist Borges. Indeed, Borges appears once more. I have referenced this name before in my character analyses of Frolova and Camellia. This novella perfectly conveys the overwhelming awe and breathless unease evoked by the infinite void. Within its pages, the author unfolds a profound core theme. Immortality is no blessing, but the ultimate dissolution of existence. To abide forever is to be forever absent. Such is the fate of those ancient beings, and of the banished electronic specter alike. Even so, I firmly believe that the infinity of the cosmos may fade away, yet humanity's finite love will always burn bright and eternal. As a line from El Aleph goes, "From that moment on, loneliness no longer brought me pain, for I knew my Savior still lived and would one day rise at last from the dust." What this passage signifies for Rover is plain. Believing Emma's is still alive is salvation in itself. For Emma's, knowing Rover walks free from loneliness is bliss enough to fill her heart. In short, I love, therefore I am. I am, therefore I love. This one-of-a-kind emotional storytelling has established her as one of the most memorable characters in the history of Wuthering Waves, and bathed the maiden's whole life in unparalleled romance. Emma's story rarely speaks of love in words, yet love weaves through every thread of her tale. As I pored over all the archives and data files about her, I noticed a tiny detail on her Echo interface that set her apart from other characters. The cassette tape in her hand bore a special code, 9072, a string of digits that seemed meaningless at first glance, but in truth brimmed with affection. 9072 was the password to a hidden chamber in her favorite video game, Final Fantasy Kacha. It is said that unlocking this hidden chamber grants access to Smart Print Cube, a delightful two-player co-op minigame. The days when Emma's competed with you for the highest block score were the happiest moments of her life. Years later, when you return to your homeland with no memory of the past, this electronic specter left a tiny Easter egg in a radio receiver. Only by tuning to the correct frequency could you see the message she left for you. And that frequency was 9072.
恭喜你发现了彩蛋。好吧，虽然也没什么要紧的事情，但在严肃的测试中加入一点小意外，是不是会让我们的学院看起来更加有趣一些呢？
This is a secret known only to you and her. Hoping that you could guess the right answer even with your memory gone, Emma's carefully left subtle hints hidden in the corners. Following the arrows, you can trace out every correct digit, one by one. She once mentioned that losing one's memory might be for the best, yet deep in her subconscious, she still longed for you to recall those beautiful memories you shared.
或许你能听到我的声音吗？
This Easter egg dates back to long before you set foot in Lahai-Roi. Back then, you had yet to know Emma's. While you traveled on, single-mindedly striving to save the world, she hacked into the Academy's examination system and asked you a question. Do you long to go home? Looking back at this baffling exchange now, I feel utterly overwhelmed. After all, hardly anyone would pause to ask whether a savior misses his home, just as Emma's lamented from the bottom of her heart.
没人记得猫想回家的事了，就连猫自己也忘记了这件事。
The yearning for home is one of the most crucial clues woven throughout this endless cycle. Rewind to the Black Shore in version 1.3. You must recall the notes lying on the table. which hold a conversation between Rover and Shorekeeper. "Do you miss home?" As Rover spoke those words, a flicker of bitterness flashed across his face. The Shorekeeper saw it clearly, and Aemeath straightway laid bare his deep longing for home.
我懂的，你是想家了哦。
Yet to shield you from pain, she concealed the harsh truth that home was forever out of reach. You have probably noticed, the very first time we entered the lakeside cottage, she would ask you to head inside and rest, choosing to keep watch outdoors all by herself. If you slip out quietly and follow her, you will see Aemeath standing atop the hill, speaking her innermost resolve as she talks to herself.
星期六，我不会再让你靠近他。
Sigillum is the very embodiment of that longing for home. Only by vanquishing it can I ease your burdens.
以前那个人总是想家、想故乡的事，现在他不记得，就不会再为不记得的东西痛苦。
The moment Aemeath spoke those words, I realized, to guard the bliss you remain oblivious to, she herself became the one with no home to return to, for you are her only family, and keeping this secret means she can never go back to her old life. Aemeath said Sigillum was born out of her deep concern for Rover's torment of homesickness, yet the root cause lies hidden within the title of this cutscene, Origins of Horror. Its original meaning derives from an ancient verse, sorrow springs from love, and horror arises from love. Put simply, it is her love for you that gave birth to Sigillum. Here, I would like to put forward a bold assertion. The one who truly yearns for a home to return to is none other than Aemeath herself. The duty has turned into endless shackles. This line describes Rover perfectly, and it applies to Aemeath just as well. To ease the burdens of the one she holds dear, she must sever all thoughts of going home and voluntarily bind herself to the shackles of duty. Therefore, to vanquish Sigillum is, at its core, to cast away the part of herself that yearns for home. She willingly abandoned her own chance of returning home to protect you, just as you once chose to bear the loss of your memory for the sake of saving the world. Destination ahead. This is the trophy unlocked after defeating Sigillum, named after a sci-fi film centered on the causal loop. In the movie, the protagonist travels through time to personally give birth to his past self, only to later kill his future self with his own hands. For Aemeath, this is her destination ahead. Perhaps some truths can only be spoken when Aemeath makes the ultimate sacrifice.
好想回家。
When it comes to the clue of Aemeath's longing to go home, Wuthering Waves never leans on explicit lines from the script. Instead, it buries this heartfelt yearning amid countless layers of symbolic narrative. You must have already knew, when the group finds Aemeath's remnants, a segment of hidden Morse code lies concealed beneath the background music. Decoded, this sequence simply spells the words, "Go home." The track bears the title Binding Causality with Nothingness, a perfect embodiment of the endless shackles binding Aemeath, who sacrificed herself to step into the unending cycle. Symbolic storytelling of this kind strikes far deeper than any straightforward line of dialogue could ever hope to. Even now, we can still uncover similar symbolic motifs scattered throughout all the traces Aemeath left behind. Super Leopard Blizzard. This winning drink was made by Aemeath for Stardorch Academy's beverage contest. She said its flavor was made to embody the creator's longing for home. What sounds like a generic award acceptance speech actually holds her most genuine yearning for her only family. The framed photo of the two of you sits worn and frayed at the edges, marred with cracks and missing fragments. The pair of cat plushies laid on the bed bring every bedtime story you once shared vividly back to mind. The bookshelves inside the cottage are lined with parenting guidebooks, volumes Aemeath still flips through often to this day. Their pages record all her self-reflection after she once scolded the little girl. And Final Fantasy Katja was the gift she prepared to make amends afterward. The person loved Aemeath deeply. Ever since he arrived, he gave her the only proper bedroom, settling for a makeshift bed tucked away in a partitioned cubby for himself. It is through these scattered tiny symbols that Wuthering Waves reconstructs their warm past. Home Sweet Home, this trophy is a tribute to countless songs. Though each was written by different artists, they all sing of one identical longing. Every lyric and melody on Aemeath's original album revolves entirely around you. It may seem that genuine heartfelt outpourings from creators always bear striking similarities, yet the symbols that best embody this boundless love lie hidden within every single day of her ordinary life. From the photos in the album, we learn that Aemeath is bright, outgoing, and full of varied hobbies. Away from the camera's gaze, however, she often falls into quiet, distant trances. These plain, understated descriptions seem unremarkable at first glance, yet every word pierces straight to the heart. For starting from this quiet contrast, her smile itself turns into the weightiest piece of symbolic narrative.
一个你根本不记得的人突然冲过来和你说：“你好，你曾经养过我哦，好久不见。”然后呢？然后要说什么？要再来我们以前的家坐坐吗？听你的话，我学校成绩很好哦。对不起，不小心死掉了。
Live lightly and live joyfully. These words Emma's upheld all her life. Long ago, she once passed this exact blessing on to you. The illustration above depicts the paper plane you taught her to fold, while the string of soft meows below acts as the tacit, wordless language shared between the two cat-like souls. Tragically, your lost memories left you unable to respond to her warmth. Even so, she kept orchestrating countless chance meetings with you by every means she could devise. In earlier game versions, opening your mailbox reveals a record sent to you regularly by Emma's. Judging by her tone, the record carries a quiet farewell. Besides that, Tardy delivers a custom jelly beverage made just for you. Though it is your first time tasting it, a wave of familiar nostalgia washes over you. For a fleeting moment, fragments of the past resurface, yet you are powerless to send a reply. From this, the term electronic ghost takes on dual meaning. It not only describes Emma's state of having lost her physical body, but also encapsulates a profound definition of love. In Interstellar, the protagonist uses the line, "I'm your ghost," to describe the unbreakable bond between family.
Once you're a parent, you're the ghost of your children's future.
When life hung in the balance, she truly took on a ghostly form to guide the one she loved onward.
You were my ghost.
Looking back on all those seemingly accidental encounters created by Emma's, it becomes clear she is the ghost who loves you more than anything. Speaking of ghosts, there's another layered reference tucked away in the game. The Trophy Ancient Zone is a subtle homage to Final Fantasy. In its story, Aerith is the very last of the ancients on the planet. After her sacrifice, she lingers on as a ghost-like presence, merging into the planet's lifestream. The cruelest narrative beat here is this: she never truly leaves, yet she never truly comes back. It mirrors exactly what we felt with Emma's. She could only watch you from afar, aching to reach out, yet terrified of stirring up painful memories of her family. This restrained affection bleeds into every single detail of her story. Take the Exostrider's reactor core, for example. Emma's tells you that as a Sentinel's resonator, this core is the equivalent of her heart. Now that it's in your hands, she says, it spins faster than ever. The unspoken meaning here is clear. Her own heart has long been racing, stirred deep by you. But here's what truly hits home. There's an even more heartfelt beat in the main storyline. When you're stopped dead in your tracks aboard the space station, Emma's hacks into the system to carve out a path forward for you. Yet this path is stitched through with the unmistakable feel of a video game. Once upon a time, playing games with you was the happiest time of her life. Now, this is the only way she can recapture even a sliver of that old warmth. In reality, she could have easily cheated and warped you straight to your destination. She doesn't, because she's craving just one more game with you. This artistic blend of storytelling and level design, where the gameplay itself carries the emotion, hits me right in the chest. When she unlocks the sealed chamber you can't get past, she lets one quiet line slip out by accident.
赢了！你的操作真棒，好想再和你玩一局蓝海洛方块呀！
At this point in the story, Emma's still hasn't told you the full truth about your shared past. Yet, in this unguarded moment, she lets her truest feelings slip right out. But you, with all your memories gone, never give her the response she's been hoping for. Emma's will never utter, "I love you." Because the second those words leave her lips, it becomes something she's begging to receive in return. The person she calls family stands right before her, yet she knows. For all the stars and boundless vastness it contains, space is still just space. Maybe we were never meant to meet again. These are the words Emma's scribbled down in secret on the night you two were finally reunited. For this reunion is nothing but a road movie. And every film has its final wrap. From the very start, Emma's knew she could never walk the long road beside you. So she cherished every single second you spent together, counting each moment like a countdown to the end, equal parts greedy for more and painfully restrained. Just as American writer J.D. Salinger wrote in The Heart of a Broken Story, love is a touch, and yet not a touch. Brushing the nose was your unspoken language, a quiet bond only the two of you understood. But when a soft snowflake settles on the rover's nose, Emma's lifts her hand to brush it away. She has long since lost the right to reach for you, to love you so freely. And this moment is a perfect echo of the main theme, Voyaging Star's farewell.
That snowflake once fell on my
In Wuthering Waves, the most touching layer of Aemeath's characterization lies in how she is a hero burdened with personal longing, conflicted yet gentle. As she once said, nothing is an obligation, not even saving the world. Even so, she filled out her volunteer form with the dream of saving everything, for you alone are her entire world. This self-sacrifice, rooted in quiet selfish affection, is laid bare in full within one of her monologues. Look for me, yet do not find me. Aemeath yearns deeply to make you proud, yet lives in dread of dragging you into endless suffering. This journey to save the world is exactly as described in the flavor text of her signature outfit. Her life is a departure, not a return. To stand with you against the darkness, she must walk a path of no return. This is the bitter truth revealed in Aemeath's trophy, the Great Seal. This trophy is a reference to Persona 3, where the protagonist, having attained the universe arcana, sacrifices his soul to create an eternal barrier against Nyx. It mirrors Aemeath's choice to banish herself across time, ending Aleph 1 forever.
我不后悔。
Yet far more staggering than any heroic, blazing sacrifice is a silent farewell. As Lu Yao writes in The Ordinary World, if one must perish, they ought to slip away quietly into solitude, rather than leaving their beloved tormented with constant worry. On that brilliant night lit up by fireworks, Aemeath soothes you to sleep, just as you once lulled her to rest years ago, before setting off alone on her world-saving journey. This scene, alongside that deeply meaningful dialogue choice, is another homage to Persona 3. The protagonist closes his eyes, nestled in the young girl's arms, and never wakes again. No parting words, no final message, only a quiet, peaceful passing. Aemeath mirrors this sentiment entirely. She undertakes the burden of saving the world solely to protect her kitten. Even now, we can see her resolve in the eponymous crayon drawing, where Aemeath holds the little black cat close as she stands firm against all foes. She once said, "Many people dream of becoming stars, yet all she wishes is to be the one who guards them." From her personal love for Rover to selfless compassion for all of Lahairoi, this hero, driven by private longing, ultimately turns into a voyaging star just like Rover. It is the age-old line, "I grew up to become you." From that moment onward, Aemeath resolved to take your place and face death in your stead. This resolve was subtly foreshadowed long before in the social posts of Snowflake the Floating Fluff. The flower on the left is Gypsophila. Its flower language stands for silent guardianship and unvoiced devotion, stemming from an ancient Greek legend tied to it. A maiden fell in love with a boy, yet she buried her feelings deep down, solely wishing to grant him a happy life. Later, the boy was hunted by pursuers. To shield him, the maiden secretly slipped into his garments and sacrificed herself in his stead. After her passing, her lingering longing transformed into pristine Gypsophila blossoms that blanketed the entire meadow. Is this not exactly Aemeath's story? In version 3.2, her song rouses us from the dark realm. In version 3.1, she defeated Aleph 1 to shield Rover. Back in version 3.0, her guidance echoed in your ears as she aided you in saving Morny. Much like Gypsophila, Aemeath streaks across your entire world. Her presence lingers in every single memory you share. The day the maiden laid down her life marks, the night the stars left no trail. Yet for Solaris, it is the night the meteor has not yet fallen. We still have no name for that star we witnessed that day. It trailed a soft pink tail, mirroring the visuals of Aemeath's ultimate ability. Perhaps one of the stars streaking across the night sky last night traces the exact path she took to sacrifice herself. She came from a distant, frigid winter. On her journey to save the world, she crossed time, space, and wormholes alike, scattering stardust across every corner of the mortal realm and leaving the entire cosmos awestruck.
我想和那个人说说话，我想知道那个人现在过得好不好，想再多陪陪自己的家人。我害怕他有朝一日知道自己身世的真相，会太过孤独。但现在已经没关系了。那个人和我说了他失忆后一路的经历，那是一段很有趣的旅途。他走过了很多地方，认识了很多人，那些人都关心着他，挂念着他，与他结下了缘分。即便现在知道了有关故乡的真相，那个人也可以好好的活下去。我 也终于可以放心，可以离开。
Spring arrives, and wisteria bursts into bloom. You once came across these very flowers in Hanami City. Now they grace the home you share with Aemeath. In the language of flowers, wisteria speaks of love that lingers and clings, unwilling to part. It blooms with unrivaled romance, yet its flowering season is fleeting, fading rapidly after reaching full blossom, a quiet symbol of transient beauty and the impermanence of life. So, it is with Aemeath. Look closely at her resonance chains, and you will find each link embodies a phase of her life. From first encounter to final farewell, a handful of delicate strokes captures the full arc of the girl's brilliant, fleeting bloom. Perhaps spring has come is inherently bound to the cycle of blooming and fading. This trophy pays yet another tribute to Persona 3. The protagonist burns through his very life force, slowly closing his eyes beneath the spring sun and quietly meets his final rest. That day, the sun shone warm, and cherry blossoms drifted down slow and soft. When his companions gathered at his side, no longer weeping, no longer grieving, but smiling to guard the hard-won happiness he had sacrificed everything for, to the departed soul. This very scene was the true meaning of spring's arrival. For Aemeath, on the day the ice and snow thawed, when she sent the paper plane of her childhood soaring through streets and alleys, over the years that flowed like water, that path visible only to love had already borne witness on her behalf, that her beloved would never be alone, and that the world would know happiness and fulfillment. This is Aemeath's Spring Has Come, the very spring her heart once dreamed into being. We can still hear this ending theme on the player at home today, sung by Aemeath herself, her voice trembling with suppressed sobs. Since she left, every corner of the house seems steeped in the imagery of spring. There is the name card Fly Towards Spring, and the resonance chain May the Spring Breeze Bless Your Journey. All of these were meant to be gentle, hopeful wishes, yet set against the grief of parting with Aemeath, they only deepen my regret. There has never been a winter on this planet too harsh to outlast, but on the day the snow finally melts, you are not there in the warm spring light. Ever since that day, her classmates have never again seen the new transfer student talking to herself. Just like the girl in the photo album, she would fall silent and drift into a daze the moment she slipped out of the lens's focus. Is this not a closed loop of origins of horror? Yet the most shattering truth of all is this. Even after her life has faded, Aemeath still braves the endless lag of time and space just to deliver those words to you.
别难过。
This final testament holds no cries of sorrow, no bitter reluctance to leave. It exists solely to soothe your grief. As she would have put it back then, all she wished was for you to live unburdened, light of heart and full of joy. With this, Aemeath's character arc reaches its final, quiet fulfillment. The Easter egg "It cannot be seen without love" also gains a deeper, far more resonant layer of meaning in turn. Switch the game language to Japanese, and you will find the achievement's original line is drawn from Umineko no Naku Koro ni, "Without love, it cannot be seen." The story's heroine once lost all hold on her own identity. She could take on any role, any guise, any name, except be herself. And so, she let her very existence crumble away, until she was nothing but an empty shell hollowed of all soul. It was only when love was finally seen and finally answered that the scattered fragments of her soul pieced themselves back together. Only then did she behold her true, complete self. This journey of the soul is the very essence of what "it cannot be seen without love" means. In this moment, it strikes me that Aemeath is just the same, a girl made whole only by the love poured into her. From the very start, all she ever wanted was to walk in Rover's footsteps. For Aemeath, saving the world was never an unshakable duty. She was like a blank sheet of paper, unfit for flight, drifting adrift in aimless confusion, until you came along. With your own hands, you folded her into a paper plane, and at last she found the one thing she truly yearned to do, to love you. Whether it was living a light, carefree life or shouldering the fate of the world, all of it was but a necessary stretch of road along this grand road movie journey. That magnificent, solemn march to her end was her answer to the deepest call of her soul. Try as you might to hold her back, you could only watch as that paper plane streaked toward the vast cosmos, the arc of its flight tracing the very shape of love. In that moment, Aemeath may have seemed an empty shell to outward eyes, but in truth, she had fulfilled that quiet, selfish dream of hers. Looking back now at that heart-to-heart on the frozen tundra, the smile on the girl's face was never a brave front put on for show. It was love, made tangible and visible. This, I think, is the true meaning of "It cannot be seen without love."
艾米斯，
嗯，
一直笑会很累。
什么嘛？我是很开心，真的，这是我自己决定的生活方式。 你就是太严肃，想太多了，才老是沉着脸。你一定不懂吧？对我而言，此刻有多快乐。
It was only when I finally read the truth behind the girl's smile that it dawned on me Emma's had kept yet another secret, hidden away among the starry skies. On the night the two of you recognized each other, she had quietly recorded this very message just for you.
抬起头吧，大概抬起48度左右。看到了吗？那是独属于我的一颗星。
An astronomy enthusiast once told me there are several real-world interpretations for the star Emma's spoke of. One is the morning star, the other is the winter triangle, clearly visible only on winter nights, composed of Procyon, Sirius, and Betelgeuse. Their radiance and positions align perfectly with the scene of our parting, and Sirius itself is none other than Rover in the story.
是真的哦，那真的是独属于我的星星。
I suddenly recalled that many years ago, my father gave me an astronomical telescope. Back then, we would often gaze at the moon and count the stars, always finding quiet, gentle joy in it. One night, he said softly to me, "Did you know? There are actually 2 stars that make up Sirius." I paid little mind to his words at the time, for all I could ever see through the lens was a single Sirius. It wasn't until I finished Emma's story and looked back on that memory that I finally grasped the unspoken meaning my father had never put into plain words. In astronomy, Sirius is truly a binary star system, composed of Sirius A and Sirius B, just like Journey of Twin Stars, the game Emma's loves most. Sirius A is the most dazzling luminary in the night sky, the very mirror of Rover. Sirius B, meanwhile, is a white dwarf. It once blazed with incandescent brightness, but now glows only dim and faint, much like Emma's after her dreams crumbled. It is said that Sirius B has long run its full stellar course. It swelled, it collapsed, and in the end, it stepped into stellar death. Yet even as its stellar form has faded to a remnant, it still radiates faint traces of energy, tethered fast to Sirius A's side, the two orbiting endlessly around their shared center. For this unwavering bond of never parting, never forsaking, astronomers have a term that is at once rigorously precise and achingly romantic: the companion star. At last I understand. This is the very origin of the companion story quest. They say every single orbit of that companion star marks one soft, gentle beat of Sirius's heart. As the flowing years bear witness to this long, quiet devotion, the echo of heartbeats woven from countless revolutions. Perhaps that is the very Morse code Emma's has left just for you. It is said that Sirius A and Sirius B reach their greatest separation every 50 years, the farthest the two stars ever drift apart along their endless orbital path, as if the farewell of a voyaging star were unfolding right in our reality. People have a name for this farthest gaze across the void: the apastron. Emma's story unfolds in 2026, in the season when ice thaws and spring winds arrive. By this time, the twin stars of Sirius have already ended their long parting, slowly setting out on their homeward journey toward the periastron. Many years from now, they will draw close and embrace once more. And so too, surely, will Emma's find her way back to you. That star on the horizon, gentle and serene, lights the way for me. No matter how long it takes, I will wait for you. This is the verse a maiden sang beneath the night sky in Final Fantasy VI. As you have likely guessed, it is the original inspiration for Space Warrior Kaga 6, Emma's most beloved game. In the game's story, the maiden is imprisoned in a cell, bound by iron chains. Ground down by endless darkness and torment, she has lost all will to live, waiting only for death to claim her, until a mysterious man breaks in, frees her from her bonds, and brings her back into the light. Yet at that moment, the maiden believes she has long since lost her reason to go on and refuses to flee with him. It is then that he speaks, his voice steady and unshakable. "I will protect you. I will keep you safe. Always." This line runs through the heart of Final Fantasy VI. Plain and unadorned, it yet outshines 1,000 grand love confessions. It forges between the maiden and the young man a bond that endures even beyond death. And as you have no doubt realized, this very line is the Morse code Aemeath left for you, transmitted through the Academy's broadcast. Now I finally understand why Space Warrior Kaga is her most beloved game. To young Aemeath, the captive trapped in a cage is both her and you, and the hero who rescues the maiden is both you and her. That is the very essence of the line. You save the world, and I save you. It is widely said that Aemeath's desire to save the world stems from her emulation of Rover. But now I cannot help but offer a new thought. Perhaps Rover's own path to salvation was equally shaped by Aemeath's. Rover once asked young Aemeath why she wouldn't keep progressing through Space Warrior Kaga to save the world. She simply replied, "If we finish the mission, the game will be over. I want to keep playing with you for longer. Even saving the world needs a break sometimes, right?" In this exchange, Rover takes the role of a savior imbued with divinity, his gaze fixed firmly on the progress of the world's salvation. Young Aemeath, by contrast, aches for all you have sacrificed for this world. What matters far more to her is the time you share and the bond between you. This way of thinking finds its echo within Space Warrior Kaga. At one point, the final boss confronts the party and demands to know what their so-called salvation truly serves. The man who once spoke the words, "I will protect you," replies, "For those I must safeguard." And the girl who was once imprisoned answers, "For the one who chose to accept me." This mutual devotion has long transcended the very act of saving the world itself. In that moment when Rover linked pinkies with young Aemeath, did the truth ever dawn on him? Perhaps the path to salvation does not lie in delivering all living beings like a god. It lies in returning to the most fundamental of human emotions, to love, to cry, to feel, just as young Aemeath once said.
因为你也不是无所不能的嘛，会受伤，会疲惫，会难过，也会流泪，和世界上的其他人也没有区别。
Looking back at these words now, I realize they distill down to one far simpler line. Keeping that smile for so long wears you out. Everything forms a perfect closed loop. That famous line of Rover's may well have seeped into him unconsciously, picked up from young Aemeath all those years ago. I even found myself wondering, what was it that led Rover to reject the rational salvation protocol and argue that human emotion is the true bond of civilization, until I heard these words.
我希望，在你未来漫长的生命中，仍旧能够感知悲伤，也能时常觉得幸福。
To savor happiness and to feel sorrow, these are rights that belong solely to human beings. When the two hold each other close, Rover ceases to be the black cat in the box. Nor is he a machine built for salvation. He is Aemeath's family. He is simply himself, and that is all.
我不是什么从天而降的救世主，但我还是很高兴能去做这些。
There is a quiet, unadorned sincerity to these words. Saving the world is never purely a sacred mission. It also holds his own small, private wish. He does it all because this world is home to the people he cares for. In this, his way of thinking lines up remarkably with Aemeath's. It turns out the Rover-style education players so often mention has another name, an education rooted in love. I once believed it was Rover who unilaterally folded Aemeath, that blank sheet of paper, into a paper plane. Yet now it grows clear. It is Rover himself who has been filled to the brim with love. When Aemeath drew little kittens symbolizing the two of you onto the paper plane, then sent it soaring beneath the night sky, Rover seemed to grasp a quiet truth in that very moment, guided by this education rooted in love. Not God's love for the world, but my love for you. Thus, the defining moment that seals the closed loop of cause and effect lies not in Aemeath's solemn march to her end, but in the tender emotional resonance when they brushed their noses against one another. Perhaps that most iconic, deeply cherished line of Rover's, in the very first of beginnings, first took wing from that very paper plane Aemeath cast into the night all those years ago.
我想留在大家身边，从过去一同迈向明天。
When Emma holds Rover in a tight embrace, tears streaming down her face. Not a single line is uttered in this moment. Yet through this hidden Easter egg, it bears the words the girl never once voiced aloud in all her life. It is said that in the traditions of the Roya tribe, an embrace signifies welcoming a wanderer back home. And when Emma throws herself into your arms, in the moment two hearts beat nearest to one another, you may just catch that very phrase, the one she has murmured silently in her heart 1,000 times over. Welcome home.
I won't say that it was fate.
Now, when we return to the lakeside cottage, a rest interaction can be found beside the bed. Ordinarily, this is merely an unremarkable scene interaction, but for the star that drifted far away from home, it bears extraordinary weight. Within the storyline, Rover once put his longing for his hometown into these words.
在被你们称之为梦的休眠行为中，我也时常回到那里，静静凝望着我的故乡。
Yet now, he can sink into sweet, dreamless, deep slumber in this very bed, as if safety and warmth wrap around him the moment he steps foot inside this house. There is an accompanying soundtrack that perfectly captures Rover's state at this moment, The Moored Boat. When they were small, he would cradle young Emma's in his arms and read her bedtime tales. Now the tables have turned, and it is Emma's who holds the little black cat close, murmuring, "Come on, smile for me." It once seemed we were the ones who took Emma's in out of kindness. But the truth is, Rover only found a home after meeting her. Their mutual devotion is embodied in Emma's signature weapon, Ever-Bright Polestar. Earlier in this video, I mentioned multiple interpretations for the star Emma speaks of, one of them being the morning star. Throughout humanity's long history of nomadic wandering and ocean voyages, this star has stood as the symbol of a traveler's homecoming, lighting the path back to where they belong. Ancient people once believed the morning star rising at dawn and the evening star sinking at dusk were two separate celestial bodies, a parallel to journey of twin stars. Later, mankind learned they are one and the same, merely bearing different names. Much like Emma's and Rover, each serves as the other's guiding light, completing one another's endless closed loop. At daybreak, the morning star walks beside you as you set off. At twilight, the evening star waits to welcome you home. This unbroken companionship across all hours is its most romantic promise. Through the language of cinematography, we see Rover reach out and grasp the sun in his palm. No matter how far the wandering star drifts, trapped high above the firmament, he swears to pluck it down from the sky.
我会去碎门后，把你找回来的。等我，艾米斯。
我知道，只要抬头，那颗星总能找到我。
That star on the horizon, gentle and serene, lights the way for me. No matter how long it takes, I will wait for you. It is only now that I finally comprehend the true meaning of these lyrics. After Emma's finished talking of the stars and her aspirations, a faint smile crossed her hollow shell in the recording's final moments. This quiet smile fulfills a line by Boris, for Rover and Emma's both. From then on, I ceased to suffer from loneliness, for I know my savior still lives and will eventually rise forth from the dust. As Rover draws the giant sword and steers the Exostrider toward the starry expanse, a memory comes to mind. Long before this, in the Paper Plane EP, the Exostrider had already spread its arms wide to enfold Emma's. This mirrors the Roya tribe's Easter egg, where an embrace welcomes wanderers home and forges the ultimate closed loop of fate. The wandering star that once departed to drift across the cosmos will surely traverse the long road to return.
"我也是，艾米斯。"
Little Palm is the trophy unlocked the moment Emma's comes home, derived from the iconic ending theme of the classic work Clannad. In that story, the protagonist is trapped within cycles of fate. In every single timeline, his wife and daughter pass away one after another through the winter, just as the arrival of spring must always bring melting ice and snow. There is a memorable sequence in the plot. The deceased girl pieces together a robot from fragmented spare parts in a fantasy world to stay by her side. The machine bears no warmth and cannot speak a word, yet the protagonist's soul has always resided inside its body. Deep down, it holds an unspoken wish to take the girl to a warm world. This cannot help but remind me of Sigillum's relentless fixation on returning home. Seen through the robot scene from Clannad, the origin of this obsession may trace all the way back to the bitterly freezing Jean Lake. As Rover burned away the last glimmers of his consciousness and lifted Emma's high, the frequency that dissipated in that moment may be the very fragments Emma's later retrieved and forged into Sigillum. The line it mutters on endless repeat, "Open the Strider Gate and return home," may originate from a far truer initial wish. Open the Strider Gate and fetch Emma's home. When that frequency is handed back to Rover once again, the robot's lingering longing is entrusted to another version of himself. At this point, the narrative thread of returning home forms a complete closed loop. The ending theme Little Palm only plays in the original work after players clear the true ending, the scene where the protagonist saves his wife and daughter and reunites with his family.
春天的风真温暖。
Once an electronic ghost, devoid of all sensation for cold or heat, she is brushed by spring winds once more. At long last, she can feel the warmth of Rover's heartbeat cradled within an embrace. Now that frost and snow have melted away, Aemeath has truly stepped back into the mild embrace of spring. On the day the maiden returns to her home, Rover buys a bouquet of lily of the valley at the market, lingering by the crossroads to await his dearest young Aemeath. This flower holds a meaning all its own. Happiness coming home. He still remembers the days when you were gone. Aemeath once clutched this exact same bloom, yearning for your safe return. Back then, only a lonely pink cat figurine rested among the petals. There was no black cat to stand beside it. Everything is different this time. The second you cross the threshold of your shared home, Aemeath speaks those words she's stifled deep inside for ages. Welcome home. 4 plain, unremarkable syllables, yet she waited a lifetime to voice them and make this quiet wish come true. From that day onward, the house's background score shifts from pure instrumental melodies to Aemeath's own soft vocal chant, titled A Gentle Dream for You. When the Easter egg choice that pays homage to Persona 3 surfaces once again, she will not slip away from you as she once did. Instead, she lingers at your side to nap alongside you. All things settle into calm and tranquility, and the quiet good night that opened this video has now come full circle.
晚安。
Much like the 2 unrelated protagonists of Zwei, after saving the world, there is no sacrifice, no eternal parting. They simply tend to curling kitchen smoke once more, share meals side by side, bid each other goodnight, and sink back into warm, playful domestic bliss as a family. Perhaps the finest ending an adventure can offer is akin to the paper plane of childhood. After crossing endless stretches of journey, it wanders far and wide, only to drift back safely into your grasp. As Aemeath and Rover gaze up at the starry sky together, every lingering resentment and unfulfilled regret from the past seems to melt into quiet relief. Or does it? I have long turned to the word peaceful closure to frame every tale's happy ending. Yet while producing this video, I endured a real-world goodbye mirroring the parting in Voyage stars. The man who gave me an astronomical telescope sat through Interstellar beside me and told me of Sirius's 2 companion stars, my father, has left this world. That is how I came to make the opening interpretation of Good Night, after sorting through his leftover belongings. Everyone around me stifled their grief, putting on a brave front to trudge on with daily life, until a loved one comforted me. Let your tears fall if you need to. You do not have to stay strong and sensible. Not every regret in this life must be fully laid to rest. Those words reminded me of the profile bio I wrote when I first started out as a video creator. It is okay to be unhappy. There is no requirement to always stay happy. This thought aligns perfectly with the line Rover once said to Aemeath.
即便是并不轻松快乐的生活，只要是你自己选择的道路，我都会为你感到骄傲。去自由地做你想做的事吧，艾米斯。我永远在你身后。
So when I caught sight of Aemeath's face brimming with tangled emotions, it dawned on me at once. The piece she seemed to wear was merely another mask of forced maturity.
好，我记得了。
To Aemeath, the pride she yearns for lies not in silent backing from behind, but walking side by side with you. What she craves is never your words bidding her fly towards spring. Rather, along the arduous journey of saving the world, she wishes to be the safe harbor where Rover may anchor at any moment. Only when Rover leans on Aemeath does the maiden's pride take tangible form. Yet she understands that though both are saviors, there exists a delicate divide between them. Rover's affection extends to all things connected to what he cherishes. He loves this whole world, and so he loves Emma's in turn. Emma's loves all that is tied to her beloved as well, yet her love stems from him. She grows fond of the world solely because she loves Rover. To put it plainly, you are my entire world, yet I am not yours. Rover's mission to save the world never hinges entirely on Emma's. As she once said, once you choose the world chooses you back. Though a faint melancholy tugs at her heart, she sincerely wishes the spring breezes to guide your voyage onward. She will never chain you to her side, for the most enduring confession of love is waiting for you to come home. A delicate equilibrium holds Emma's and Rover together. The moment either lays bare their vulnerable side, the other hardens into steadfast strength without delay. Once, Emma's threw herself sobbing into Rover's embrace, fragile and in need of consolation. Now, when Rover clutches her tightly, heavy with unease, she sets aside all her past grief and takes it upon herself to comfort this fragile little black cat. This perhaps is the kind of quiet peace that comes from bearing all burdens alone. That night, Emma's took the initiative to ask for a gift handpicked by you. Through the visual framing, the two lean softly against the windowsill, letting the breath of spring linger gently within the room. At that instant, you recalled the very first fact you learned at the Birdwatchers Club. Legend has it that this species of little bird presents gifts to their lifelong beloved each spring as a testament to sincere devotion. Perhaps that was the unspoken subtext hidden within Emma's request. Emma's has always been this way, hiding every word she longs to tell you within Morse code, game cartridges, and even the stars strewn across the sky. She holds back all her surging emotions, putting on a carefree facade and pretending to have found peace. Fortunately, having been granted a second life, Emma's still has plenty of time to voice all those feelings she never got to speak aloud. Perhaps in some spring yet to come, she will stand on the Academy's graduation stage, singing the anthem "Star Torch Never Extinguishes" alongside her fellow students. Mid-chorus, she catches a glimpse of a familiar figure in the audience, sitting precisely in the seat she once recommended to him years ago. He has black hair and golden eyes, dressed in a faded old edition Academy uniform, holding a gift he carefully selected throughout his interstellar journey. Having just fulfilled his mission, he rushed back without pause across the remote star seas, solely to make amends for the regret of his absence long ago. As fate would have it, this very day falls when the two stars of Sirius reach their periastron. When the choir finishes the closing line, "Let the final chapter turn into a prelude," the maiden can no longer contain the surging emotions locked inside her heart. She races recklessly down from the stage toward the person she has yearned for day and night. No more Morse code, no more obscure hidden messages. Without holding back, she speaks those three unreserved words: "I love you."
There's a black cat in my memory. Surface dust gently breathing.
This is Blurred. At the end of this video, I keep thinking about one question. What are we really talking about when we talk about Emma's? Every player has a different answer, but the reason why this girl's story touches so many people is that we can always see a part of ourselves in her. I remember a long time ago, someone asked me during my live stream, why do I keep making these videos? This question is just like a volunteer form put right in front of me. There is no need to write down saving the world. All I have is a plain and ordinary answer.
我跟小爱有一点相同的，就是想要让家里人骄傲嘛。
To achieve this goal, I have to race against time, from early awkward and rough content breakdowns to elaborate videos full of carefully sorted Easter eggs. As a new content creator, everything I make serves only one purpose. I hope I can say these words to my father before he departs forever, just like what I want to tell Emma's.
但愿我会让你感到骄傲，但愿我没有让你失望。
When children want to support their parents, they are no longer around. In the end, an ordinary person like me still lost the race against time. I was trapped in endless sorrow back then. I fell into deep depression, feeling that all my creation had lost its meaning. I even thought about stopping my video updates for good.
我也好嫉妒，他终于能听到那句话了，那句“我会为你骄傲”那句话，而我这辈子都听不到了。
But luckily, every word of expectation and encouragement you guys left was just like the stars from the night before, cutting through my darkest days. What shocked me the most was that so many viewers said the exact same line without planning it. You can definitely make it. You're blurred after all.
因为你是乐姐啊，你不是别人。
Now, I have the answer to that question I brought up earlier. When we talk about Aemeath, it seems we're talking about time loops, Morse codes, the bond between Rover and Aemeath, and the quiet acceptance she forces herself to show. But all these things ultimately come down to our affection for Wuthering Waves and our love for life. Every time we cry or cheer for the plot, every connection and companionship we gain from Wuthering Waves all point back to that Easter egg. It cannot be seen without love. I want to stay beside all of you, moving forward from the past toward tomorrow together. That's the Rover's famous line, and it's also what all Use Rovers truly feel deep down. So, to circle back to the question, what are we talking about when we talk about Aemeath? We're talking about the most basic human feeling. We're talking about love itself.